Ahoy hoy, I'm Nerdragefred, and today for the intro we have James with us. You can't tell, but he's excited, emotions on the inside, like me. For today's video, we're gonna go over the blog post he just dropped for Kislev and the campaign mechanics they'll have. So join in and enjoy. Alright, so for the first portion of this, we're gonna go through devotion. Well, I mean, like I say, for the first portion, it's not a loss. You get devotion, which is a resource specific for Kislev. This just means that you get devotion from fighting chaos-aligned armies, which I can only assume are warriors of chaos, demons of chaos, very likely Skaven, probably vampires, or anything really that Games Workshop or Creative Assembly would see as evil, even though they might be neutral on the tabletop, such as the Great Villain, etc. that we saw on the blog post. That's only what I can assume anyway. Beastmen, the whole shebang. But who knows? Maybe it's just going to be Warriors of Chaos and things with chaos in the name. And Beastmen, Norska, stuff like that. We'll just have to see. If you drop too much in devotion though, you will be invaded and you will have problems with chaos armies coming in, which I can only assume is like some form of ritual mechanic where they just spawn in the middle of your empire, so you can guess more devotion. And what do you spend the devotion on? Well, you either spend it on buildings, technology that are closely aligned with devotion. You also put it into very fancy rituals, which is seemingly something that is more closely aligned to the Norscan chaos gods and how you worship the four of them. But you have to spend devotion on it instead of just raising something and it automatically goes there. You make a conscious decision on what you want to put it in, which is pretty cool too. You either have Saliak, god of heat and comfort, which gives growth and replenishment rate faction-wide. You have Das, the god of fire and sun, increases income and trade and all, from all buildings. Increases income from trade and all buildings, yeah. Ursun, the god of bears, really fancy name there, not aligned with just, you know, the word Ursa at all. And it causes attrition to all enemies in your lands and provide unique army ability. There's a powerful hex on target area. That actually seems pretty cool. Very invade Russia in winter time. I like that one. We also have Tur, god of thunder, lightning, mighty warrior who cracks the sky. I'm not going to say Thor. Tur, like we say here in Sweden. But it gives all armies additional melee attack. Bestows unique army ability, massively increase damage potential in an area for a time. Seems cool. I mean, like, I'm not super big fan of melee attack. Melee defense is where it's at. To win, you just survive the other dude. That's all you do. Each ritual, however, will cause a great winter to whip across Kislev lands, spread snow across any battles in their lands, and dissuade attacks from enemies. Seems pretty cool. I hope we get winter maps. Fun little fact about winter maps. They actually drain your fatigue faster. There are a couple of factions that are actually immune to this. Well, I say a couple, it's actually just Norska. They do not get that extra draining effect. They will actually fight fresh for longer in winter climates. The more you know. And here we see how it looks. And this is actually the more interesting part. So as you increase the bars on these, you also get either the Orthodoxy or the Winter Courts, or the Ice Courts. And the more you fill up here, the more diplomacy bonuses you also get with neighboring places. And this one I really, really like, because Kislev right now in the game is not large. It's just a couple of settlements. It's what, like 9 settlements or something? I should actually check that before doing the video, but it's not a big place anyway. It's hardly the Empire or anything like that. So maybe they'll actually divide it into smaller places as well. They'll make something more out of Kislev. We can only hope. That would be really cool, I think, personally. Because, I mean, the place is kind of barren otherwise, isn't it? But anyway, as a faction gains more followers, they will increase the relationship with the minor faction of Kislev as well, proving to the people and the troops they are rightful leader. And you can, if you become more dominant, you just confederate them, you reign supreme, like a golden god. Here's also something interesting. Whoever wins will still a chaos, the Empire and their vampire spawn to the south, ogres in the west, the west. For anyone still not thinking that ogres will be the pre-order faction, as many times ogres has been mentioned, and as they also said that they were going to sate our hunger for knowing the pre-order race. So obviously it's going to be ogres. I'm just seeing this as more confirmation. You're also going to get atamans, which seem pretty cool. Basically for every second location you get, you're going to get an ataman, which will just stand in the place and give regional buffs. Kind of like Gotrek and Felix would. They don't have traits, they don't have experience in the same way, but they will accrue experience through dilemmas, which is pretty cool, as long as it gets a little bit cooler than what it is now. Personally, I wish for something more Paradox-esque, I guess, for these kinds of events. It would be pretty cool. And you can recruit them into war as well, if the need be. Once again, they don't cost anything, it seems. And that's just more Gotrek and Felix-like, isn't it? And it also says between these great areas are scores of smaller towns and villages scratching out a living and funding the war effort with men, farm, and weapons. So maybe they're going to expand the area, which I hope. I mean, like, I really hope that the entire Vortex map just gets into more empires, Immortal Empires, or whatever you're going to call this. Those are the ice courts. Both Kostaltin and the Tsarina will use this. And it's basically just you have to train your hero or a lord if you want to have an Ice Witch or if you want to have a Frost Maiden, it would seem. You control them more and you train them with what they're going to be good at. They're going to be better at magic, witch lore magic, what abilities, passive bonus for troops under their command, etc., etc. So maybe, as we can see here, it's going to take about 6 turns to guess. And maybe they're going to be more powerful than the 60 influence High Elf Lords. I doubt it, but we can always hope. I mean, like, High Elves need more competition, let's be honest. We don't need to nerf High Elves, we need to get everything else up to that standard. The tech tree? The thing that first strikes me is, why do they keep having it so you have to scroll this far? Why can't they just have one giant window for it? I don't understand this. Why can't they just make a good UI? I don't want to scroll 15 leagues to see something. But the cooler parts is that, get it? Is that you actually need the major cities. Kislev, Prague, Erengrad, stuff like that to actually unlock more of the technologies. You just need devotion for some things. That's kind of cool because the Tsarina isn't just like, you know, an Ice Witch. She literally brings the power of Kislev and the land, and that's what she wields. She's one with the land. It's like Tiffany Aching, for example, in the Terry Pratchett books, if anyone's ever read those. No, that's fine. You probably should, though. You should read all the Terry Pratchett books. They're great. But the Tsarina and Kislev are one. That's why it's so cool to have the elemental giant ice barriers come up from the ground to fight the enemies of Kislev. And that's the basics. That's the entire basics of Kislev and the campaign mechanics. Not the longest video today, but that's cool. We're going to have more stuff in the future. So if you enjoyed this one, like, subscribe, comments. You know, if you didn't like it, just like the video anyway. I guess so sad for every single dislike. It hollows my soul. Also, I'm a really small channel. It helps a lot. Follow on Twitter @Nerdragefred. You can always catch me streaming. I stream a lot of stuff, primarily Total War. I mean, I have like close to 5,000 hours streamed Total War. Yes, Warhammer 2, honestly. And even more hours of the other stuff as well. On twitch.tv/Nerdragefred. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see your cute faces next time.